What's up, everyone? My name is David Morales. I'm a DJ first. I'm a remixer second, and I'm a producer third. But what can I say? I've been DJing for over 40 years, and music is my passion. Music is my way of life, for one. And I started editing remixing records, I want to say in 1985. And I launched a remixing career in the late 80s. And of course, in the 90s, that's when I started writing and producing. So I've been mixing and producing records since, I guess, I want to say 1985, 86. So obviously that's over 30 years now. I've worked with some of the most greatest artists of our lifetime, from the most Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Janet Jackson, youve, Jamiroquai, some different things like Shabba Ranks, Alison Limerick, Donna Summer. Sorry, I have to remember because I've remixed over 500 records in my career. And I produce many, so it's difficult to remember some of the greatest artists. Aretha Franklin. Who else have I worked with? Seal. We can't forget Seal. Wait, as they start to come around more, as I remember, because my memory's a little foggy. It's hard to remember things when you're actually on the spot. You know what I mean? And well, what can I say? Music has been my life. I love music. I like movies second. I like reading books third. And the one thing I have to say, for me, it's like music is a passion. So music is not work. It's supposed to be fun. So, it's not about forcing yourself to make music. It's important to when you feel artistic and when you feel a vibe and love. So there are some days that I don't work. Work, that's the wrong word, because I said music's not supposed to be work. So for me, it's just about, if I don't feel like creating, then I don't create. I don't force myself because I don't have to, you know what I mean? And it's not a switch that you can turn on. It's like playing records, I come that, it's supposed to be a vibe. So it's not about automatically that you could turn on that switch and turn it on. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. So there could be a week that I just don't feel like making anything. And then one day I could be on an airplane, which I always carry my little keyboard. Oh, let me step over and show you, right? Because I am always in studio mode. So what I mean by that is that based on the technology today, is that you can walk around with your studio. So that's what I mean by sometimes I could be on a plane and I'll get an idea and I'll just flip it. Then I get to the hotel and it's like crack. So when I'm feeling creative, it's almost like crack. Y'all know what crack is? No, but all jokes aside, and then there's some times that I'll be in the studio and I'll work for maybe 5 hours, maybe it's 10 hours. And sometimes maybe it's 20 hours, because when I was a lot younger and when I was working in studios, I used to be in the studio 5 days a week. And so I lived in Manhattan and the studio was in Manhattan. I still slept on the sofa in the studio because it was like being on call. And when you work with somebody, I work with some of the greatest musicians that are out there. I mean, some of the top guys in the game. So, when you're having fun creating, or as you say, having a jam session with some great singers and with musicians, it's like you go into the studio, when you're going in every day, it's to create. You understand? Anyway, so that's a quick synopsis of, my career or how I feel about things. Let me see what some people want to talk about. I'll entertain some questions. Let me go. Here's one that, okay, here's something that's very interesting. And let's not go too far on this. My God. No, this is something that really has something to do with music. Courtney, I'm sorry, darling, but this is a whole nother, this is not about politics and people's movements and so and so and so. Okay. Here's Jorge. In terms of sound, how to do compare an OG Yuri versus an alpha record, which is similar? It's an interesting question that this gentleman has asked. And I asked someone the other day, because somebody said to me that they went to a DJ school. And I'm like, so what did they teach you in a DJ school? And he said, they taught me more about production. And I'm like, well, what does that have to do with being a DJ? You understand? I mean, unfortunately, the lines have crossed today, whereas a DJ has to be a producer. Now, granted, I don't want to sound like some old fogey because, yes, I have age, I have wisdom in the game, but I'm still in the game. So don't get it twisted. Okay, so I'm not here to talk about, if you want to ask me, compare about the old days, but I'm living in the future, I'm living in the now, in the present, and I'm living into tomorrow. So when it comes to, and I'll answer your question, Jorge, in a minute, when it comes to comparing mixes. Okay, and I think that when let's say you go to DJ school, I think the first thing they should teach you is how to plug in a mixer first. You understand? The AC and how to hook up with its turntables and whether to hook up, how to teach you about levels and how to manage levels and how to manage your EQ sections. Because this is the first thing that they do teach you, which is the fundamentals that a DJ should understand what sound is. And David Mancuso taught me about this. And he gave me books about this. But they don't teach you about this. So I think music production is a whole nother schooling. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, before you get to music production, I would tell someone, okay, try to learn a musical instrument. But as far as learning how to DJ, it's like you should teach people levels, sound. That would be my thing. As opposed to telling somebody you need to do something that has nothing to do with DJing. So that was my answer. I was really surprised when I asked somebody, what did they teach you in DJ school? Which they didn't learn anything, or also how to beat match. You understand? Some of the best ways to teach beat matching is not by sync. But I'm not here to diss sync either as well. Okay, Jorge, I'm gonna move on because I'm gonna teach you. You asked me about the difference between the Yuri and the Alpha mixer. I have the Alpha mixer. It's an incredible mixer. It's just like the Yuri. It's just a new version of the Yuri because they don't make a Yuri anymore. And even though Soundcraftsman makes a Yuri, it's not the same as the old school Yuri. Alpha Recording is one of the best mixes that's out there right now. There's different. Listen, you have the Pioneer, you have the Allen Heat, you have the Model 1, you have something else that I just learned that I hear is incredible, which is the ISO 1, but I think something like that. You have the EADS, which is another thing. So there's a lot of good mixes, and it's all about what your preference is. I know I went a little bit here and there with that to answer that question, but okay. Who is he? Okay, I'll see you when I see you. I love when I see you. Okay, I'll see you when I see you. What do you prefer, Techniques or Pioneer? Are we talking about a CDJ or are we talking about turntables? Because maybe a lot of you guys don't know that Techniques made a CDJ, the 1200. And it's a beautiful, beautiful CDJ. It had the right idea where it had like some disc on top that you can actually almost work like a turntable. But for some reason, the CDJ didn't take off anywhere. It was a monster, but it was slow. It wasn't as fast as the Pioneer. And obviously it didn't catch on. So it's not something to compare. I mean, you understand? Pioneers make CDJs and Techniques makes a turntable. Pioneer is the king of CDJs, even though there's a lot of other CDJs now. You have Denon. You have some other people that I haven't tried, But from what I understand, Pioneer has the best CDJ on the market, and Techniques has the best turntable on the market. Let's see what else we got here. How did I get into DJing? I loved music first and foremost. And that's what I would tell anybody that wants to DJ. The first thing you have to have is passion for music. Without passion in anything you do, you have nothing. You understand? So first of all, when I was very, very young, I just liked music. I'm Puerto Rican. I grew up around Latin music. I only spoke Spanish to my parents in the house, but otherwise I spoke English. I liked black music. I liked R&B. I liked funk. I didn't even like pop music. I didn't like Elton John or, Fleetwood Mac or, I have soul in my blood. And it's funny, it's like my first 47-inch 45 that I bought was the OJ's Put Your Hands Together. Maybe I was 10, 11. I remember taking that record home and I played it to death on our home sound system. I put the cheap speaker out the window and just blast them. I guess I must have played the record on first day like 100 times in a day. So the first thing is like I loved music in general, and I would hang out with my boys, and they would say, "Yo, D, play some music for us." So I was a kid that stood by that. I just loved the turntable. I mean, I remember that even staying in my aunt's house, and they had a Marantz receiver and a turntable and a speakers, and I was always attracted to what sound and what that was all about. So for me, it wasn't the television. It was about listening to music, and it was about what was in the component. I wanted to know what the speaker looked like. You understand? So at first, it was just about that you just love music and you just like playing music, because in the old days, here I go, the old days, the DJ is a selector. You're a programmer. So back then, it wasn't about skills, because there was no mixing skills. You play one record at a time at any party. The record finished, people clap. Thank you. You had enough time to change the record. At that time, change the record as fast as you can, so there's no lapse. And then at some point, I think when I was 12, 13, then one of the first mixes came out, and it was a fader mixer, and it was made by Clubman 1. And I'll tell you a very funny story that goes with that. Okay, so now, being young, let's say like 13 years old, about 14, because I think I got my first mixer, maybe the blackout in New York was in 1977. And, many stores got looted, whatever. I got my hands on one of those looted. It was a little Radio Shack mic mixer, and it just had four little knobs on the front, and it was a mic mixer. But I took 2 turntables and put them into this. We took right and left, no cueing whatsoever. My first mixer was some little, I don't even want to say battery operated, but maybe it was battery operated. I can't remember, because that was 1977, but it was a mic mixer. But it allowed me to mix, even though it had 2 knobs for one, 2 knobs for the other, and that's how I would go from one record to the other. But Braille, so I might as well have it's like not even count by numbers. You just play the record from beginning to the end, and that's what it was. I went to play at a party when I was 15 years old. Okay, I guess 1977. And I saw the first Clubman 1 mixer, and I saw a DJ playing with, and he had headphones on. And I was like, wow, what is he doing? So my friend had access to the house party. It was in his sister-in-law's house. So he goes, D, you want to play some records? I was like, sure. I put on the headphones like I knew what I was doing. Not that I knew what I was doing. I picked the button. I was like, and I heard cueing. I was like, oh wow. Now forget about today when you go to a club and you have monitors. The speakers were in the living room and you DJ'd in the kitchen. There was no monitors. You just went pop, pop, pop. Anyway, so now, and I had mismatched turntables. So one had pitch control and one didn't. But the thing about the involvement of so-called DJing, and when somebody asked me what got me into DJing, so it wasn't about the art of DJing. I liked music first, and I think the whole idea was playing music for people. That, you know, that's the whole concept. And then when a mixer came out, then the term became non-stop disco mix, because in, let's say, in '77 is when disco music took off. So that's when it was called non-stop disco mix, because the music never stopped. It was continuous. So bars slash and as clubs came to come into in to develop, it was called non-stop disco mix. And I was one of those kids that I had no job. I was going to junior high school, and you know, I would go to record stores. I had no money. I would steal records from a record store, and I would go every day to see what records were there. And because somebody was always playing music in the record store, and you listen, I was one of those kids that would walk by a store that's selling, you know, a mixer and turntables, and you had dreams, you know what I mean? And you had dreams like, wow, one day. I mean, my first turntables I got on layaway. Now, some of y'all in Europe don't know what layaway is, but if you're from Brooklyn, ghetto, you know what layaway means. It means you put a down payment and you pay off what you want to purchase until you finally pay it off, and then you can take it home. So you can imagine how I felt when I got my first 2 matching Technique turntables and a mixer. You know, it's like when you go to the store and you bought that brand new record that you couldn't wait to take home to play. So, how did I get into DJing? Because I just love music, and I still do. Wow, okay. Now, you know, these messages are running fast, and because I'm talking, it's like some messages are really flying by me. So if I didn't get to catch y'all, I get involved in my answers. So, do you have any pre-gig rituals? I don't. I really don't. You know, there's no such thing as I don't. I don't write down my sets. I don't pre-plan my sets. I don't even know what's going on, because every gig is different. Every place you go to. So I think it's important to arrive there before at least 30 minutes. I mean, the longer you arrive, the more you're there to hear what's going on, is the better you can adapt and figure out where you're going. It's the best thing to do. But obviously, if you can get some rest, great. I mean, I would suggest a good meal and rest. But you know, today with these 2-hour sets, but no, I don't have any ritual. Where's my favorite venue I've played at? You know, it's not a fair question, because listen, I can say I played at some amazing venues in my life. The Paradise Garage, where I started in Brooklyn for meals only, was great. What can I say? Sound Factory. My God, Yellow in Japan, Space in Ibiza, Bash in Ibiza, Ministry of Sound. My God, Stereo, one of my favorite stereo, which I owned for a number of years. I can't remember everyone, because there's always. I just played at the Key in Paris, which was amazing. I can't remember all of them. Remember, I've been DJing for a lot of years. I'm sorry if I missed some of you guys that deserve to be mentioned, but I play at some of the most amazing places in the world, and I'm sure there's more to play at. But the best place is my house. Even though, if I tell you the truth, I have no sound system in my house whatsoever. How can I scroll up to catch all those things that people are actually asking? How much for that couch, mate? Which couch? I don't have one. Now, how much for your best couch? My best couch? Oh, man, it's like you really don't want to know. Okay, what are the questions we got? Do I sell a couch? No. Although my favorite couch I bought, my God, I had one couch that my first couch that I remember I paid a lot of money for this couch. It was so good that I had that couch for about 20 years. I had to give it up, but too heavy. What is your opinion on the current status of club music worldwide? Wow. Well, again, I'm not here to compare yesterday. You know, times have changed. I mean, for every decade, every genre of music has changed. I mean, music from the 60s changed to the 70s, and from the 70s to the 80s, 80s, 90s, 90s. The only thing I can say, because I'm a DJ that loves music, and I'm a producer as well. And there's, you know, all I can say is there's a lot of great music out there. There's, you know, music, house, let's say house music, because a lot of people know what house music is, although I'm from before that era. But there's a lot of great music out there today. There's a lot of great new kids out there doing stuff. The technology has evolved into just something incredible. And so there's a lot of great stuff out there. You know what I mean? There's something for everyone. The only thing, and there's the biggest thing that I have a problem with, is that why do people have to only play one style? I mean, I think the biggest problem, because, and I understand that sometimes people have an hour to play, 2 hours to play, and it's not fair just that time limit, because it's very difficult if you play for 1 hour, 2 hours, that you can actually express yourself and really experiment with different types of sounds and music. So, you know, I mean, I get it. You have techno, you have tech, you have this kind of tech, you have this kind of tech, you have new disco, you have deep house, you have house, you have Afro house, you have, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the problem is that there's just too much information out there. It's overload. It's overload. So a lot of great things, because imagine, it's like you can easily say that in every genre of music, 100 tracks come out a day. So you times that by 7 days a week, and you have beatport, you have other, you know, digital stores. So if you take all of them, can you imagine how much music comes out on a daily basis? It's retarded. And, you know, so people have ADD. So it's terrible. I mean, but like I said, one more time, there's a lot of great music out there. There's just a lot. It's just, there's a lot of filtering. I mean, you can spend hours. You have to dedicate yourself to at least 2 days a week to listen. Oh my God, it's crazy. Am I looking forward to playing at Deauville this year? One of my favorite memories of Ibiza. Oh my God, I have so many great memories of it. Yes, I'm looking forward to playing with Luciano. Luciano is one of my favorite guy, DJ, new, I shouldn't say new. He's one of my favorite DJs out there. I love to watch him technically. Like I think everybody can be inspired. And even though I'm DJing over 40 years, it's like I have a 10th-degree black belt in DJing. But there's no such thing that you can never be inspired and never learn something, because it's just like life. You can always learn something. Every day is a learning curve. So it's important to listen to other DJs, because you really don't know what you're missing sometimes. It could be a record that you listen to that went by you when you heard somebody else play. You go, oh wow, I missed that one. Damn, it's like, oh, But yes, I'm looking forward to playing with Luciano. And great. Okay, Ernesto, what's wrong with sync? I have nothing, bad to say about sync. I mean, I didn't grow up with sync, okay? And the only thing that I would say, and this is what I would tell people, okay? It doesn't matter what you use to play music, to DJ with. It really doesn't matter, because when you're playing at, nobody can see what you're doing. And even if they do, today it really doesn't matter. It's about what you're playing and that you make your dance floor move. That is the bottom line. But imagine the first time when it went from, and people obviously got to learn about acceptance when it came to DJing, what a DJ uses. Because I remember when I used to get booed, when people used to get insulted when I was playing CDs and I wasn't playing vinyl. It's like, yo, what is this? Why aren't you playing vinyl? This is like the evolution. You understand what I'm saying? So people frowned on you when you play CDJs. Now, of course, now we go from CDJs and now we go to computer. People were not accustomed to seeing a laptop in a DJ booth. Now, for me, and I've tried everything. I think Traktor's amazing with this. Traktor, Serato, Pioneer CDJs. I like both sync and non-sync. I mean, so, for me, there is no problem because, like I said, I like to use, Josh Moy Johnston, shut up. What is your problem, Josh? I didn't answer your question. Are you feeling lonely out there? Okay, check this. Where he sampled it from Red. Okay. The reason Paradise Garden was, can you see yourself playing this type of set again? Yes, I love playing Josh. Josh, you're funny. Where's the couch? I love you, Josh. You're cool. My couch is over there. Wait, you mean like therapy or something? Why don't you try learning something? Playing this type of set. Yes, I like playing the Paradise Garage kind of set because, you don't get to hear those records. It's a gem to play some of those records. You guys are funny. What excites you when you are pumping the crowd? I think it's just seeing people having a good time. I think the most important thing as a DJ is seeing that the people, that are people having a good time. I mean, that's really what it's, what it's all about. I send you 17 messages about your couch and you reply, it is still for sale. Which couch are you talking about? Hey guys, give me 1 second because I forgot to plug in my laptop. And you know what I'm saying? Give me 2 seconds. I move really fast. La 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 la. And my mistake for not being prepared, but hey, you can't always be prepared. But it is what it is, right? Look how fast I am. And I am back. Yes, I do have a couch. I have a couch over there. Okay, where can I get, okay, we can find the Survivor remix. Yes, Survivor is out by Kings of House, New York City. Me and my brother Louis Vega. It's available now. I know there's a double pack. And also on the Rhythm Records next month, the Red Zone mixes of, it's called I'm Still Here featuring Julie McKnight. Those mixes will be available on the Rhythm Records next month in May. I'm going to cue you as the couch. Okay, a mashup Club Lonely. Okay, this was Steve. Steven, that was a mix I did with Get Up, everybody. I did a couple of remixes, but the original one I actually did with the Club Lonely track in it, but unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's just not available. Did David get to invent House? I'll make it simple. No, he did not. Invent House. House is a Chicago owns house music. Chicago was the first people to put out house music. It was a new thing. So I got my first Chicago record, I want to say 1984 probably. Maybe it was 1980. Me, I learned about it in 1984, 1985. So that's how house music, but it's something that was Chicago. It was raw. It was something else. It was really, and it was all drum machine driven. It wasn't even like live instruments. 909, 707, 808. That was Chicago. Do you realize drum and bass is better listened to on a couch? I think you can torture somebody with drum and bass. No, I'm joking. I love some of the original drum and bass. I mean, I haven't listened to drum and bass when I used to go to the UK in the late 80s, like early 90s. You used to hear a lot of drum and bass because it was, it was big in the UK. And guys like LTJ Bookham, Ronnie Size, Goldie, they used to throw it down. But I think it's better heard in the club. But to each his own. Hey, if you love drum and bass, you listen to that thing the minute you wake up in the morning. What's the best song I've made? Oh God. You know, when you make so many records in your life, it's like it's very difficult to choose one. I mean, it's almost like not a fair question. It's like asking me what your best remix is, and you know, it's very difficult. I mean, to try and say favorites. I mean, sometimes I've done some great remixes that just were never released. But if I had to say top favorites, okay, Dream Lover, Space Cowboy. Space Cowboy and Dream Lover probably the three most creative ones I have to say would be Dream Lover, because I had Mariah Carey come back into the studio and re-sing the record, and that was the first time that an artist came in to re-sing the record and change it, because you listen to original Dream Lover, which is this commercial la 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 thing that I really couldn't work with. And it's funny because when I did the Mariah Carey remix, I said, I can't work with this. This is too bubblegum. I can't do nothing to make this. And I said, the only way it could happen is if she came in and to re-sang it. Not that I thought they would actually happen, but they called me on my bluff, and I was like, okay. So I went to the studio with Eric Cupper, and we cut, this straight track with no changes, no nothing, just what it was, a straight groove, and she killed it. Another one is, I have to say, is Space Cowboy. If you listen to the original Space Cowboy, it's a wonderful jam session, very like Stevie Wonder, this whole instrumentation and everything. I actually cut the vocals up and put it together like a verse, chorus, and created a song out of it. And also, I believe I sped it up a bit. But if you listen to both songs, they really don't match. So that was one of my, Mr. Loverman, Shabba Ranks. You know, it was a dancehall record. And I flipped it. I even added Maxi Priest on it going, Shabba. He wasn't part of the song. The name of the song was Champion Lover. And after I finished the track and I looped up Mr. Loverman, they changed the track to Mr. Loverman. Needless to say, somebody else made millions of dollars because all I got paid was a one-time payment. But another one, of course, is the track me and Frankie Knuckles did, Where Love Lives. That's also one of my favorite classics and one of the most emotional ones. Where can we find Survivor? I have no idea. Do I practice mixing? No, I don't. It's like riding a bike. Okay, what are the questions? No, I don't have that couch for sale. No. Can you give any new tips for new producers? I think number one is learn how to play an instrument. Number one, and I don't mean the female organ either. No, but all serious, I think, and I tell any young DJ this because the art of producing has become so important in DJs, because you use music to market and to promote yourself / your brand. So and also learning how to make music also makes you a better DJ because you understand about keys, you understand about chords, and all that works, within. I guess it's try and learn as much as you can, but don't overload your brain. You know what I mean? It's like, but there's different, how do you say, there's Logic, there's Ableton. I live on Ableton. Some people live on Logic. There's Reason, there's this, there's that. So, it doesn't matter what program you use, it's whatever works for you. Yes, the rhythm is accepting promos, sure. It's therhythm@gmail.com. Yes, I do listen to promos. I'm into listening to the new guy out there. I'm here to encourage. I'm here to promote. I'm here to promote music because that's what every DJ's job is. Not just to promote my own music, it's all to promote other people's music. What is, okay, this is Simon. According to you, what is the road to become a professional producer DJ? I you don't know how to answer that question. I think how do you become a professional? I mean, does that mean that you have to be working and getting paid to be a professional? I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if you're good at what you do, then that makes you a professional. And you know, and to answer that, and when I say that is in today's market, right? You can you can open up your own label. You know, you don't have to invest the same money that you used to years ago. You don't need a record company to put your record out. You just start your brand, and with social media and with some of the promotional companies out there to promote your record. And you know, you can promote your, you know, you could promote your own music. You know, you understand? It's all algorithms. You understand? You don't have to press up vinyl. You don't have to make covers. So you can, to best is start your own label, and you know, you don't need somebody to do your thing to get your name out there. More soulful sets. You know, listen, I like a lot of music per se, and a lot of music needs to be heard. And like I said, you know, first of all, I play what I want to play at the end of the day. Love me or hate me, but I'm out there to have a good time. I'm out there to educate. I'm out there to give people a good time, and for me to have a good time. And it's important for a DJ to play what he wants to play, as opposed to somebody telling him what he has to play. Do I take requests? Not usually, but sometimes I do, because sometimes somebody may give you or tell you a song, and it's like, wow, you know what? Not a bad idea, and you play the song. But then sometimes somebody come in, you know, and somebody come in at you for some nonsense that just doesn't work. And you just have to be like, sorry, I don't take requests. Let me see. Why did you have to go so hard on Kanye? I know I didn't go hard on him at all, technically speaking. I was just, and if you caught me laughing about it, it wasn't a serious conversation. I just said, hey, somebody, you know, that's my bass line. Somebody sampled me. Now, I don't mind if somebody's sampling, but how would you like it if somebody sampled your work and then ask you whether it was okay? Because when people samples your work in general, you know what I mean, you're supposed to get paid. I mean, when I sampled whatever I took from Needing You, I had to give the writers, I had to give the producer, you know, I had to pay for the rights for those things, because it's only fair. So as far as to go hard on him, I didn't say hard. I googled, was like, hey, this is my bass line. I didn't even get a you know, what I say about Walmart, and you understand what I'm saying? So, you know, and for me, it's like, and after that, I had TMZ that tried to contact me for, you know, if I had some gossip. And no, you know what I mean? You know, I didn't want to go that way, because for me, I wasn't trying to get a story for myself. I didn't care. It was what it was. Listen, I'm flattered. Love you, Kanye. All good. Okay. I said no. I said it's not Survivor. You know what I mean? I guess I should have told Louis. Maybe we should have titled the record Survivor. The track is called I'm Still Here, Kings of House, New York City, featuring Juliet McKnight. The house mixes are out now. I guess you can go to Traxsource, beatport, probably iTunes, for starters, I believe. So listen, like I said, listen, just go to beatport and look Kings of House, New York City, I'm Still Here, and you find it there. And it should be all these house mixes that came out on Vega Records, on Little Louis' label. But next month, the Red Zone mixes of Still Here will be released. Do I play piano solos in my remixes? I wish, but no. The main guy, I have two guys I used to play that played piano solos. One was the incredible Terry Burris that I've been working with for like over 25 years. And I hire him just to play piano and Rhodes and an organ, B3 organ, because the boy is bad. I mean, he'll play a solo eating a cheeseburger. That's how bad this boy is. And the other one is Peter Schwartz. They both have different sounds. One has more soul, the other one has more dreamy, more cinematic. Okay, my headphone. I love a lollipop. I can't play with headphones like this. I was never trained that way. It doesn't feel normal to me. So I still enjoy the lollipop. The reason why a lot of guys do this. They have one headphone off and one headphone on, and they're used to that. Me, I'm used to having a headphone, the lollipop this way. When I'm playing, I can take because of the stick that's resting on my neck, I can take it away from my ear and I can listen to the sound on both ears. And the guy that makes my lollipop, Ariel Lollipops, he's a man. Well, what was my first tattoo? Oh my God. I got in Brooklyn and it was an underground basement tattoo place. Wasn't allowed back then. It was a little Pegasus right here. I was 21 years old. I remember 21 and my mother saw my first tattoo and she hated it. The looks in her eyes said, kill him. Boy, the Still Here record, my God. Check beatport, Still Here. New Kings of House, New York City, featuring Julie McKnight. Okay, I'm looking for questions. What DJ would you stop what you were doing, go listen to them they were playing? Yes, there's a lot of great guys out there, and yeah, sometimes some new guys. One time I was in Croatia just last year, and I went to an after hours techno club that the promoter owned, and it was this young kid. He had a little controller, Novation, connected to the Pioneer, and he was playing off Ableton, and the boy was killing it. So, besides some of the big professional names out there that are obvious, you can always learn from hearing some other guy play. You know what I mean? Because you never know. There's a lot of listen. I was a young kid when I was 21 years old, and I got asked. My first New York club was the Paradise Garage that I played. I never played in Manhattan. I played at the Ozone Layer. I was born and raised, and my first New York club was my first professional club was the Mecca, and that was the Paradise Garage. And I went from this slapped down, put together, cool hometown club in Brooklyn, like it was a bar with a lounge, whatever, and a dance floor. So I went to the grandest club in the world that had 3 turntables. They weren't even Techniques. They were Thorns 125 Mark IIs, 2 reels, a console. It was just something out of Star Trek. And I'm talking about 1983. I was 21 years old. And you play the whole night. So mind you, they asked me to play Friday and Saturday. I played 11 hours Friday. I played 11 hours Saturday for a total of 22 hours in one weekend. So, it's nice. Thank you for playing my records for many years. I hope you keep liking some of my records. Who were some of my role models when I was starting out? To role models per se, I didn't really have role models. I guess I was from the beginning. I have to say David Mancuso was a big influence on me because he taught me it wasn't about the mix. It was about sound, and it was about the record and playing the record from beginning to end. He didn't have a Yuri. He had a preamp for each turntable, and he would let each record play from the very beginning to end. Even if it was 14, 15 minutes long, he let the record play from beginning to end. Okay, I already talked about the survival. What was my first steps in the music world? Well, first of all, DJing first. Then I started to edit. I bought a little editing. I bought a reel-to-reel, and I learned how to edit my own master mixes or mashups, if you want to say that. And then I started editing for remixes. I used to edit a lot of records for Bruce Forrest back in them days. And sometimes a record company would ask me to edit. They would hand me 10 boxes and on each box was 15 minutes of music of different takes. And they would say, give me a club mix, give me a dub mix, and give me a radio mix. So imagine, take 10 times 15. I had to listen to every single thing, and then, and then figure out which parts to create 3 mixes. So let's say a 7.5-minute club mix, and then let's say a 7.5-minute dub mix, and then the radio mix had to be under 4 minutes. So from editing, and then also Bruce Forrest, he's one of my, I have to say, going back to what someone at Victor Mongi asked me, he was one of my influences when it came to the studio. Bruce Forrest used to play at this club called Better Days that I was a resident at as well on a Thursday. And Bruce Forrest, I'm talking about, this boy had, besides 3 turntables and reel-to-reel, 2 Korg samplers, a homemade trigger, a Casio CZ101 keyboard, a Roland TR505 drum machine. This is in the DJ booth. I'm talking 1985. David Cole would come in and play keyboards live over records. So it was like remixing records on the fly, sampling, pop, 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 delays, all these kind of things. And this goes, Bruce Forrest invited me to go hang out with him at the studio. And I got influenced. So I bought my first drum machine. I got my first keyboard. Then I bought my first sampler. And, so it's about influence, when somebody influences you, and then somebody opens a door, you walk through the door, and you never know where that door takes you. Royalties or credits, exactly. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, you need the credits so you can get the royalties. But royalties apply only really when you're part of creating, as in producing, or singing. Sometimes as a remix, and maybe you can get some royalties, but without the credits, you can't get the royalties. I hope that answers that question. Can I do more live Q&A? I would love to. Barbara Tucker, love you, my sister. I know Barbara for many, many years. I know Barbara probably almost 40 years. She started, when she was a dancer, singing. I had the pleasure of performing with her about a couple of weeks ago in Leeds with her. Great singer, great artist, and a great soul. And yes, so listen. Okay, I have my label, The Rhythm. My first single of the year was called Detention. And my new single out now is featuring Tamara Keenan. If any of y'all Tamara was on my last 2 albums. Okay. Love this song. We did the song in 2011, and it just got released. Check it out. And she has the most amazing voice, and she's a brilliant, intelligent songwriter. Okay, here's somebody asking, from all the clubs that closed down already, do you have one that you wish still opens? Yeah, I have 2, the Paradise Garage and the Loft. Do I do any music production tutorials? Man, I need tutorials myself, okay? I hate reading a manual, to tell you the truth. I am not, and I'm sad to admit, I am not, I'm not a geek. You know what I mean? At all. I mean, I need I need that fast course. I need that studio tutorial for dummies. I put it out there, I made it. So what? Why do I play in Europe more than New York? Because obviously, listen, take you New York, you're taking Italy, you're taking Greece, you're taking England, you're taking Spain, you're taking Germany, you're talking Switzerland, I mean, Croatia, Slovenia. And all those countries, you can be in those countries, you know, imagine they're different cultures, different, you need a passport for some, you know, whatever the case, but, you know, Europe is just a bigger scene than America in itself. So no, it's not about politics. It's just, well, you know what you say, I live in Europe, so it's easier for me to play in Europe than, you know, New York is a long way. I mean, at one time, it was the opposite, you know what I mean? But it's just, look at, and it's only in the last couple of years that New York is happening. Let's not even say New York, it's Brooklyn that's kicking it right now. Brooklyn is some great venues opening up. So that means with more venues, then for sure, you will see a lot more of me in New York. I mean, I was just there a couple of weeks ago playing at Avant-Gardner, which was amazing, which is the indoor part of Mirage. But maybe you'll see me soon in New York. No promises yet. What artists do I look up to? My God. Some are alive and some are no longer with us today. I'm not in tune to everything, so maybe there are some artists that I'm actually missing right now, you know? So, you know, I don't want to stand here and sound like an old fogey, you know, as far as what artists I actually, you know, look up to. Yes, Ariel is the dawn of lollipops, make no mistake. Barbara Tuck asked me, who was my mentor? How important it is to have a mentor? I think it's important to have a mentor in life in general. Somebody does not to tell you that your whatever doesn't stink. I'm trying to keep the language cool on beatport. You know, like I said, when it came to music and let's say sound, David Mancuso taught me. When it came to the art of DJing, there were two. There was Larry Patterson and Bruce Forrest. A mentor, my best friend and my manager, Judy Weinstein, had played, you know, has been a big impact mentor in my life as well. So yeah, that would be my come to Dallas. When did I come to Dallas? What was your main experience that led you to become a DJ and a producer? You know what? I will always say I'm a DJ first, and there wasn't anything that made it was just like I said in my earlier in the early part of this show this Q&A. I like music, and music is just the art of DJing evolved into something else, and it was just my calling, and you know, one thing led to the other. Like I said, one door opened to the other, and it's just, I'm blessed to be where I am at the moment. So this is, you know, I have no problem. I'm not one to, and this goes for anybody. I'm here to help. I'm here to mentor. Anybody can write me. You have any questions, you can write to me on Facebook. You know what I mean? I'm not one, you know, I love to share my experience, whatever knowledge I have. I'm into paying it forward. I mean, I've lived an amazing life. I'm still living a great life. I love what I do. I've been blessed. I believe that, you know, I'm still here for a reason and still in the game for a reason. I don't take it for granted. And you know what? People in what this business is needs teachers, needs professors. I mean, because, you know, to pass the knowledge on to the new generation, as opposed to being insecure that, you know what I mean, I ain't tripping that I don't have that slot that I was in 20 years ago. But that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still living a dream. You know what I mean? I'm still doing what I love to do and putting a roof over my head and food in my mouth. And as long as I can do that, then I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be flying a private jet. I don't need all this kind of fanfare and all these kind of things. I think the biggest word I had to say that I'm just grateful. So for me, it's important as someone has been in this thing and as a teacher to be a mentor, to give wisdom, to pass on wisdom and knowledge. I'm here for that. And any young person out there, even after this, you can, message me, trust me, nothing but love. Bruce taught me many things. First of all, never heard one of the baddest DJs I ever heard, and he just taught me a lot about music production. Turned me on to some of the greatest musicians in the world, that people that he used, that I ended up using. Do I feel that house music is popular considering the after New York City? Everybody's talking about today how house music is back. I don't understand where it went in the first place. I think it just got on the back burner because of so many things that are coming out, so many different genres of music per se, but it really never went anywhere. It's nice, I don't know what that means. I think it just never went anywhere because everything that's out there right now is a derivative of house music. So we might as well say it is house music. Have I had an off night DJing? Hell yeah. And I'm sure I'll have an off night again. I am my biggest critic. So yeah, everybody has an off night. It's like a basketball player or a baseball player. Everybody has an off night. The problem is that when you set what's the word I want to use, the line so high, the standards, and anything less than your best game, anything less than your first game, you get dissed. Even though your half-ass game could be okay. It's like in basketball, you score 60 points, man, you're the man. But if you score 35 points, it's like, oh, he had an off night. But compared to the other guy, that his highest 35 points and his lowest 10 points, so you understand the relativity. Yes, I've had many off nights, and I'm sure I have even more. Okay. Thank you. Okay, how did you found right place and people to play with? I'm Simon, I'm trying to understand that question, but sorry about my English is bad. Well, my favorite event, I've had too many in my life. How do I get your ideas on the beginning of a song when you produce? How do I get an idea? Oh my God, how do I start? Let me see if I turn around here for a second. Let me put on something. How do I start? Oh, we have no sound. Just so I make this real quick. Oh, well, I don't have any sound. That's not cool. Oh, that's why. This is how I start. It's called the kick drum. And then maybe I'll add something else in there. Check it out, right? A little funky right now, right? Wow. I should actually start something with that. I haven't thought about that. Okay, so you asked me a question. That's how I started. I started with a kick drum. I started, I'm really good at. I think I'm good at beats. So I always start with beats. Definitely a kick drum, and then maybe a bass line. But I'm into really creating rhythms, and then comes the bass line, or maybe even some chords. Where did I play my longest set and how many hours? Oh, that's really not cool. My longest stay was a stereo in Montreal. My longest stay was 27 hours. Started Saturday night, finished Monday morning. Point is to improve on how to actually listen to music. Don't listen to it at loud volumes. Loud volume can be very deceiving. You see in the studio, I have three different types of speakers here. I have the Pioneer RM7s. I have my Canto S and my Adam 77s with a subwoofer. The Adam 77 subwoofer obviously is the heaviest, is my club sound per se. The little Canto S is more like, not like a radio, but like almost like if you had a boom box with some cute speakers. So it's more of a flatter sound. So if I'm mixing and I'm hearing things, I can hear actually everything. It's a difference if you have like booming speakers that can artificially color the sound. But as far as if you want to listen to music, if you want to save your ears, don't blast. What? I didn't hear you. What? You don't want to end up like that. Does house music evolve into funky disco? I don't know. I can't answer. I think house music has just evolved into many kinds of music. Like I said, Afro, tech, techno. I mean, techno's not what it used to be in the late 80s/90s. I remember when techno was like 140, 100 BPM, 50 BPM. Now, and you know who told me this maybe about 10 years ago? Derek May, one of the original techno Detroit gods, said to me, techno is house music. Check that out. And if you check out all the guys supposedly playing techno today, in reality, it is techno, right? Oh, no, sorry, it is house music. It's just house music with no vocals. No? Well, guys, listen, it's been an hour. I could do this all day. I really can. They told me I was supposed to do this maybe 30, 40 minutes, but I can do this all day. But I don't want to take up all the time on beatport. I want to thank beatport for this. It's been wonderful. I'm sorry if I can't answer everybody's questions. Let me see. I'll try to answer a few more, even though I'm sure people may want to kick me off the air by now. In comparison with trance, why people consider trance DJs best in the world? That's the first time I ever heard that, because, it's just like with every genre of music, you have some, in every genre of music, it's not to say that anybody is the best, because music is not a sport. DJing is not a sport. There's nothing about music that it's a sport. You don't have to have, it's like, it's timeless. I think if you still have the energy, I mean, like me, listen, I've been rocking it. I have no shame in my game. I'm 57 years old. I still have the passion and the love for the game. I'm in the studio every day working, so it's not because I need to be healthy. I mean, thank God I am healthy. Get it? But no, but all jokes aside, why do people say the best DJ? Or somebody likes to say, I want to be the best DJ. What is that? What level are you trying to arrive? Because it's really, and I told this to any new kid on the block. You're supposed to DJ because you just love it. So if you DJ in your bedroom, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be like, you know what? So I'll tell you, when I grew up as a DJ, there was no DJ culture. There was nobody to say you can make money, you can travel the world. Nothing. DJs at my time, back in them days, listen, they got $50 a night. I remember doing gigs, $25. Man, $15, having to chase somebody down the block to give me some money. And you carry 10 crates of records to a gig back in them days. You know what I mean? So, it was just about that you just loved what you do. So the one thing I know is like, if you're, let's say, bedroom DJ, and that's a bad term to give anybody right now, but if you're a so-called bedroom DJ per se, right? The one thing I know, if you want to go home and DJ and play some music and you're fine with that, because it's all about that, you just want to listen to music because you just love it, and that's how you find peace and harmony within yourself, then wonderful. And if you can share that with two of your friends of yours that come to your house, hey, come over, I want to play some music, then that's wonderful. But if you set up yourself up for this disappointment because you think, I want to be a star, I want to make it, I want a private jet, I want to be on that stage because I think I can play better than him, then you got it all wrong. You got it totally all wrong. Because don't think that every night that you think, oh, I'm on every night, I'm the bomb. You know what I mean? I am that. Well, my man, it's like, girl, guy, you got it twisted. You know what I'm saying? This is not about whether you're better than the other one. Because the only difference between all of us is how we tell our story when we put those records together. Because it's all about the art of programming. And, maybe you're a better programmer. But it's not about being the best of that. You could say, I'm better than someone, because there could be a night where your programming ain't on point. And I testify to that because I live that life. So nobody says trance or whatever. It's not about who the best DJs are, because some music today is so much easier to play than what somebody else plays. If you can understand that. Okay, because I love giving wisdom. It's just so much where I hate to leave some of you guys, so I will entertain y'all. I'm in no rush, because this is when I paid forward. Which setup do you recommend for a beginner producer? Which monitor? Listen, whatever you can afford. Listen, I have a big keyboard, but look what I travel with. This costs what? Under 100 euro. You know what I mean? As far as the VST, for my sound, I use a Focusrite in my studio. I have a smaller Focusrite. There's different VSTs out there. So, it's all about what you can afford, for one. The most important, what you can afford. I'll tell you the funniest story. The first time I did Hear the Music, Gypsy Man. That was Todd Terry's record. The first time Todd Terry comes to my house, I had a studio in my house at the time. And I work with different musicians, so you rented keyboards and stuff. I said, Todd, what do you want me to rent? He says, nothing. I said, nothing. He comes to my house with an SP1200. I'm like, that's it? So yeah, that's all I need. Homeboy schooled me. End of story. So what he showed me is, it's all about what you use. Todd Terry was a king of the SP1200. All those tracks, Royal House, Can You Party? My man threw it down on an SP1200. So you see, it's all about whatever makes you happy. So it's all about, don't trip thinking, oh, I need all this money, I need all this equipment, I need this, I need that. No, listen, start with whatever you can afford that'll get you started, and that you put 100 into that and learn how to make with the minimal. And when you start with that, and then as you got more budget, then you expand your setup. My first setup was a keyboard with a 8-track sequencer, and I had a Akai S900 sampler, and I lived on that until okay. Tractor software versus Serato. Like I said before, to each his own. You know what I mean? Whatever works for anyone, it's fine. All right, so listen, everyone. I'm going to go now. It's been wonderful. It's been real. Until next time, And this time I will say, I'm going to say goodbye. I want to thank Beatport for the Q&A. It's been wonderful. You guys are awesome. Thank you for this opportunity to connect with some people out there. I hope for everyone you learned something. I hope I gave you an insight of things. And it was a pleasure. Until then, remember, live life a day at a time. Life is a luxury. Respect. Give 100, you get back 100. Until then, Dave Morales, The Rhythm, Beatport. See ya!